Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star 2, Land of Origin based on novel. So let's start. Sang Shueyun watched him, yet a series of powers escaped into the depths of the earth, swiftly leaving the cave mansion. Brother Shong, I never expected you to think of me this way. Sang Shueyun's voice was deep. I do have some secrets, and you have secrets too. I thought that we understood each other, that neither of us would probe into the other's secrets. I never imagined you'd be investigating me, even suspecting that I might be Divine Monarch Shueyun. Do you really think a lonely cultivator like me could possess such strength? Shong Qianyang looked at him. Are you still denying it at this time? You really have it wrong. Sang Shueyun looked at him. If I'm wrong, then why has your true body already fled? Shong Qianyang looked at him. Sang Shueyun was silent. Brother Shong, it seems you are stronger than I expected, able to detect my escape technique. Sang Shueyun exclaimed with a sigh. His escape technique incorporated 3 primal chaos realm moves and was silent. An ordinary eternal true god would never detect it. I'm not particularly good at anything, I just know a bit about artifact refining. Shong Qianyang said, but upon returning to Huyang City, I have no inclination to compete. It's only the outside world that says my artifact refining is among the top within Huyang City. Top tier without competing. Sang Shueyun looked at him. I've known all along you and I are the same. You and I are not the same. Shong Qianyang looked at him. Both of us are very lonely in this world, with few attachments. But I am grateful for the experiences of this life. I watch the wonders of the world, the cultivators each with their own pursuits, their own loves. Just like you and I used to be, full of fighting spirit and desire. The world is wonderful, so why must you destroy it all? Shong Qianyang looked at him. By destroying everything, what is it for? As long as I can become stronger, it's worth the sacrifice of anything. Sang Shueyun's eyes were cold and fierce. Even if countless creatures perish, so what? I, Sang Shueyun, will surely become the primal chaos overlord, and in the future even ascend to godly king. What's the point of becoming a godly king? Shong Qianyang looked at him. Even after becoming a godly king, there are still ancient forces like flame wind ancient country, thunder ancient country that are far beyond you. In the vast land of origin, there will always be those stronger than you. Sang Shueyun said coldly, in this world, I am alone, now I only wish to cultivate and grow even stronger. To become stronger for the sake of becoming stronger. Shong Qianyang shook his head. You truly are different from me. Of course we're different. Sang Shueyun said, you are but a tiny, unnoticeable wave in the land of origin, while I will be like the vast heavens and earth, dominating all things. The countless creatures of the land of origin will be influenced by me. My will shall determine the life and death of countless beings. Shong Qianyang looked at him. Then are you happy? Sang Shueyun was startled. No matter how powerful you are, no matter how many creatures' lives and deaths you decide, ask yourself, if you're still lonely and in pain, then this path you're treading is one of suffering. Shong Qianyang looked at Sang Shueyun. Our paths have crossed in life, and I only hope that you can walk a path that brings relief and joy to your heart. A path where you can face earnestly the one you once cherished. Regardless of the changes in the external world, the true feelings in your heart are what matter. Shong Qianyang looked at Sang Shueyun. Ha ha ha, you actually try to change me. Sang Shueyun looked at Shong Qianyang. We've known each other for too long. I see through your thoughts at a glance. Yes, I am trying to change you, I know, I can't stop you. Even the Yu Kingdom might not be able to kill you. A cultivator as sinful as you is truly likely to become the primal chaos overlord and even ascend to godly king. I only hope that a peerless strong person in the future, faces this world with benevolence, not malice. Shang Qianyang looked at Sang Shuiyun. Ha ha ha, Sang Shuiyun's eyes were filled with madness. You have your path, I have mine. What is good and evil? My will is the will of the heavens and the earth, the will of all creatures. Shang Qianyang gently shook his head. Since you have come, you must have left yourself a way out. Sang Shuiyun looked at him. What's your backup plan? Currently, no one in Huyang City can kill me, not even General Yong, as is worried about affecting countless creatures. So your backup plan, did it rely on external powers? Very smart. Shang Qianyang said. What backup plan did you arrange? Sang Shuiyun stared at him. Tell me, and I might spare your life. You guess. Shang Qianyang smiled. My backup plan, I can't say for sure that it will kill you, but it should have a 90% chance. What exactly is the backup plan? Sang Shuiyun's eyes were filled with madness. Let's test your strength. The strength of divine monarch Shuiyun. Shang Qianyang suddenly threw a punch. He was barehanded, and just one punch carried a might that made the heavens and earth tremble. Sang Shuiyun stood still, letting the punch pierce through his chest. His entire body flowed like the blood wave. An invisible domain enveloped the entire cave mansion, and Sang Shuiyun, who was transformed into the blood wave, stared at Shang Qianyang, refining your own godly body, as if it's a mechanical stream secret treasure. Brother Shang, your artifact refining skills truly far surpass those in the entirety of Huyang City. You shouldn't have to die like this, so tell me, what backup plan do you really have? Knowing the backup plan would help him deal with it better. He knew Shang Qianyang very well. Shang Qianyang seemed to make numerous friends with passion, treating countless disciples of his sect kindly, but when it came to scheming, he was certainly not inferior to him, Sang Shuiyun. The two of them, they understood each other very well. Do you think I would tell you? Shang Qianyang shook his head. Then I have no choice but to personally send you on your way. Sang Shuiyun's body transformed into the blood wave, completely enveloping Shang Qianyang. Saw the novelfire.ne*t website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Shang Qianyang, enveloped by the blood wave, turned his head to look at this world. The world is so marvelous, yet you want to wreak mindless slaughter and destruction, all for a mere glimmer of hope for breakthrough. Whoosh! The blood wave eroded, and Shang Qianyang's body quickly melted away, the true god's heart annihilated. Sang Shuiyun stood silently in place. Shang Qianyang was dead. The only friend he had in this world was killed by his own hands. Those who block my path should die. Sang Shuiyun was expressionless. He looked all around. It appears there are no ambushes after all. It seems you didn't place your hopes on the strong within Huyang City. Was it to borrow outside forces to kill me? This force of the blood wave also quietly escaped underground. This place, after such a battle, was no longer suitable for inhabitation. In an ordinary residence, metallic life form Uncle Chio stared into the night sky, anxiously waiting when suddenly, the cause and effect within his karmic messenger order dissipated for sect leader Shang Qianyang. Sect leader, Uncle Chio's heart trembled, knowing that the sect leader had ultimately died. Without hesitation, following the sect leader's previous arrangements, Uncle Chio immediately dispatched the secret letter to 5 targets. Indeed, Shang Qianyang was not absolutely certain that Sang Shuiyun was Shuiyun. Confirmation was needed. He worried that he might not have the chance to pass on the message before he died while confirming it. Therefore, he had Uncle Chio help spread the secret letter too. In reality, Shang Qianyang had also used the karmic messenger order to pass on a more definitive message. At the city owner's mansion, Moli Meng was handling the aftermath. After all, divine monarch Shuiyun had slaughtered over 80 billion creatures, which would greatly impact the entire Huyang city. One wrong move could potentially cause widespread panic. Mo Li Meng first received Shang Qianyan's message, followed by the secret letter from Uncle Chiu. The true identity of divine monarch Shuiyun is Sang Shuiyun. Mo Li Meng's face lit up with delight. This Sang Shuiyun has lived in Huyang city for too long. I have encountered him many times at the Dream Flower Tower. Wherever he went, he must have left traces, and the more traces there are, the more we might try to deduce the secrets of heaven and trace his footsteps. Mo Li Meng finished reading Shang Qianyan's complete secret letter. What a masterful move by Shang Qianyang. He actually had a karmic tracing order, and within it was contained the cause and effect of Sang Shuiyun. With this karmic tracing order, we can trace the whereabouts of Sang Shuiyun. Mo Li Meng was overjoyed. This just got easier. With the ability to track his location, the Marquis can meticulously plan and eradicate him in one fell swoop. Even if his power rivaled that of General Yong. But as long as the location was confirmed, and with adequate preparations, it was entirely possible to mobilize sufficiently powerful forces to annihilate him in one stroke. Shang Qianyang, you truly have made a great contribution. Mo Li Meng was excited when suddenly, he noticed the cause and effect of Shang Qianyang in the karmic messenger order had dissipated. He died. Mo Li Meng's heart quivered. His karmic tracing order is stored in the Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall, and only my father Mo Li Xiao can go and retrieve it. Mo Li Meng didn't dare to hesitate, and immediately went to report this intelligence. This was the intelligence Shang Qianyang left behind with his life. In fact, Sang Shuiyun was very cautious. Even though he and Shang Qianyang were close friends, he never left behind anything like blood that could allow Shang Qianyang to lock onto his cause and effect. However, Sang Shuiyun didn't understand the methods of an artifact refining master. Their long-lasting interaction naturally created cause and effect entanglement. Utilizing their mutual cause and effect, Shang Qianyang was able to imprint it onto the karmic tracing order and thus trace Sang Shuiyun's location. In Shang Qianyan's eyes, as long as divine monarch Shuiyun caused disaster, Yu Kingdom might tolerate it once, but not twice or thrice. Once Yu Kingdom decided to kill a divine monarch Shuiyun, and with the karmic tracing order to confirm the location, the chances of success were greatly increased. But Shang Qianyang also understood there were too many uncertainties in the future. He could only do his utmost. The Dreamflower Tower Master was playing a tune alone in a pavilion when suddenly, she received a message. The Dreamflower Tower Master checked the message. The true identity of the Sha Kingdom's forces leader, Divine Monarch Shuiyun, is Sang Shuiyun. At this moment, the top few powers within Huyang City are all aware of this news. But don't worry, the city owner's mansion owes me a lot, and I have asked them to take care of you. Also, the top powers within the city have quite a relationship with me, so I believe they won't trouble you. Should you truly face great danger in the future, other powers may be unreliable, but Lord Luo he can help you. I know his temperament, and in my regard, he will help you once. But you must not trouble him too much, as he dislikes being bothered. Once he feels aversion towards you, he will no longer care about your life or death. No need to worry about Sang Shuiyun. He won't come to Dreamflower Tower again. Dreamflower, your illusion technique is really mediocre. Among those who are skilled in illusion techniques, you are at the bottom tier. You must cultivate diligently in the future. In this world, in the end, you have to rely on yourself. This secret letter left the Dreamflower Tower Master dumbfounded. Shang Qianyang and Sang Shuiyun, the two eternal true gods who were enamored with her. Qianyang is dead. The Dreamflower Tower Master discovered the cause and effect of Shang Qianyang had dissipated within the karmic messenger order. She stood there, stupefied, feeling her mind thundering with too many thoughts to remain calm. Inside the cave mansion, at the peak of a high mountain, Luo Feng sat cross-legged, quietly cultivating. He didn't use the karmic messenger order and thus did not receive its messages, but he did receive the news from the Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall. Lord Luo He, Shong Qianyang, is confirmed dead. In accordance with his last wishes, the over 3 million cosmic sand and all treasures, including a secret letter he left in our Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall, are to be handed over to you. Please come personally to retrieve them from the Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall. This message left Luo Feng stunned. Shong Qianyang, confirmed dead. Brother Shong is dead. Luo Feng murmured softly. Luo Feng had witnessed too much life and death on his journey. Back on Earth, he had seen many heroes give their lives for the planet. Later, he also watched as numerous figures, including the founder of the giant axe, perished one after another during the rise of the human race in the primordial cosmos. Having experienced so much, Luo Feng's spirit had long since become incredibly resilient. How did Shong Qianyang die? Luo Feng transmitted to the Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall. This piece of information is worth 1 cosmic sand. The Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall responded, because the information was rapidly spreading and the price they were selling it for was relatively low. I'll buy this piece of information. Luo Feng replied. Tonight, Shong Qianyang went to observe the battleground where General Yong and Divine Monarch Shuiyun fought. Afterwards, he returned to the Heavenly Flame sect to arrange some affairs, and then he went to meet the Dream Flower Tower Master. Following that, he went alone to see Sang Shuiyun. And at Sang Shuiyun's residence, a battle broke out. During the fight, he sent out a message using the karmic messenger order, confirming that Sang Shuiyun was Divine Monarch Shuiyun. The battle lasted only a moment. Shong Qianyang died, and Sang Shuiyun fled and disappeared. Information came through from the Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall. Luo Feng understood. Brother Shong, you didn't tell me about this, because you were worried about involving me. Luo Feng murmured to himself, that Divine Monarch Shuiyun couldn't have threatened me, I could have killed him. It had been more than 20 eras since he arrived in the land of origin. Shong Qianyang was his only friend. Although he knew many eternal true gods, they were nothing more than acquaintances. The only one he respected and acknowledged as a true friend was Shong Qianyang. He remembered the first time they met. He was a nobody in the Dream Flower Tower without any reputation. The more famous eternal true gods couldn't be bothered with him, but only Shong Qianyang took the initiative to befriend him enthusiastically. He didn't care about his strength, he was just enthusiastic to befriend him. During their first meeting, he presented Luo Feng with information about Huyang City, warning him of its dangers. Over the long span of more than 20 eras, it was always him asking Shong Qianyang for help. Asking him for guidance on the mysteries of body refinement. The only time Shong Qianyang urgently made a request was when he hoped Luo Feng could save his friend's children. You never asked me for help for your own sake. Luo Feng looked into the distance, his gaze catching the attention of Morosa, who immediately sensed something was amiss. Come with me. Luo Feng ordered. Yes. Morosa, perceiving the unusual look in his master's eyes, understood that in all their time on the land of origin, his master had never shown such an expression before. Whoosh! Steering the flying boat, Luo Feng took Morosa and headed straight to the Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall. Inside the city owner's mansion, Mo Li Xiao, the lord of Huyang City, and an elderly man with white hair were gathered together. As the highest commander of the Huyang Legion, Mo Li Xiao had the ability to traverse the void directly, and had already made a trip to the Flame Wind Pavilion to collect the karmic tracing order. This is the karmic tracing order left by Shong Qianyang. Mo Li Xiao said, holding a token. With this, one can pinpoint the location of divine monarch Shuiyun. Shang Qianyang has made a great contribution. The Lord of Huyang City said. It's a pity he's already dead. The elderly man shook his head. Mo Li Xiao spoke calmly. Now, we just wait for the arrangement from the Marquis. Divine monarch Shuiyun's strength is too great. Without leveraging the grand array of Huyang City, even General Yong could not do anything to him. The Lord of Huyang City said somberly, with such power, killing divine monarch Shuiyun is extremely difficult. Indeed, nodded the elderly man, in all of Zhujiang Primal Chaos Prefecture, none under the Marquis can match General Yong. The most terrifying of the eternal true gods of Yu Kingdom, almost all follow the 5 godly kings. Mo Li Xiao stated, without a special reason, who would come to a place like Huyang City. The resources that a godly king can provide naturally far exceed those from a primal chaos overlord. Thus, under the banners of the 5 god kings, they attract a sufficiently vast number of powerful beings. Those of General Yong's caliber naturally prefer to follow a godly king. Yes, if the Marquis needs to mobilize forces, he probably needs to borrow experts from other places. The Lord of Huyang City agreed. It's not something that can be resolved quickly. The conflicts between the 2 big divine kingdoms are also tacitly understood. In a normal conflict, no matter how many eternal true gods die, it's blamed on insufficient strength, and this is considered a lower intensity conflict. If one day a primal chaos overlord were to take to the field, the intensity of the war would escalate terribly, and a single ripple of aftermath could mean countless lives lost. The eternal true gods dare not get involved. Whichever primal chaos overlord wins, will naturally claim victory. As for the godly kings, their intervention is highly unlikely. Should they act, the impact would be profound. Even the major divine kingdoms of the land of origin would pay attention and could possibly intervene. God kings do not enter the fray when they are not certain of victory. These ancient beings also vie for cultivation resources, and without confidence, they will not fight to the death. Like when the Shi kingdom annihilated the Jin state, once they made a move, they didn't give the god king Jin any chance to resist. They completely eradicated all the strong in the royal capital of Jin state, with only god king Jin escaping in disgrace into the universe ocean. The Marquis has sent an order. The white-haired elder's eyes lit up. As the leader of the Jiang clan in Huyang City, he naturally received the command. What is it? Asked the Lord of Huyang City, Mo Li Xiao. The Marquis has only one order, to increase the bounties for divine monarch Shuiyun, Yu Qianshu, and Yu Qianyi. The white-haired elder said. The Lord of Huyang City nodded in understanding. It seems we're pinning our hopes on the bounty to attract some fearsome powerhouses to make a move. Mobilizing forces also takes time, and if a powerhouse takes up the bounty and kills divine monarch Shuiyun and the others, that would also be good, Mo Li Xiao said. I've heard that the 2 ancient countries, and some of the mysterious major forces from the land of origin, also have elite followers roaming around. If they discover a high bounty, they might come to Huyang City. How much is the bounty? The Lord of Huyang City asked further. The Marquis instructed that the bounty for divine monarch Shuiyun be raised to 10 million cosmic sand. Yu Qianshu's bounty is increased to 2 million, and Yu Qianyi's to 1 million, the white-haired elder stated. Mo Li Xiao and the Lord of Huyang City were taken aback. See a thoverfire.net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. True to the Marquis style. His actions are indeed generous. The Marquis has the entire Zhujiang Primal Chaos Prefecture as his fief, with 3 large cities and 189 ordinary cities. The residents all have to pay a residence fee. While each resident pays very little, the accumulated amount is enormous. After deducting the operation costs for the cities and part of what is handed over to the God Kings and the Marquis of Zhujiang, Just one era is enough for the entire Zhejiang Primal Chaos Prefecture to amass a considerable fortune. About 10 million cosmic sand. Indeed, it's a trivial amount for the Marquis of Zhejiang. He would rather spend some cosmic sand on a bounty than trouble a god king over such a trivial matter. In my Yu kingdom alone, there are more than 10 individuals who openly possess strength comparable to General Yong, and 3 to 4 others even more dazzling, the white-haired elder said. Not to mention the elites nurtured by some major forces in the land of origin. With millions of cosmic sand, I believe that within one era, we will surely attract powerhouses strong enough. Luo Feng steered the flying boat towards the Flame Wind Association's dark hall. Brother Luo He, the vice president of the Flame Wind Guild, personally received him. These are all the items left by Shong Qianyang for you. With that, he handed over a jade vial. Luo Feng took it and saw inside over 3 million cosmic sand, a large amount of materials, weapon secret treasures, and most conspicuously, a letter. Brother Luo He, by the time you read this letter, I should already be dead. You need not grieve for me. In fact, when I returned to my hometown of Huyang City alone, I had no intention to survive. Later, it was the young ones in the city who moved me. I thought to myself, pretend I'm already dead. Spend the rest of my days doing something meaningful, making each day count a little more. I've left all the resources I've accumulated in my lifetime for you. I ask nothing in return, because you detest evil and are willing to help the weak, which is all I could hope for. Having known so many friends since returning to Huyang City so long ago, the one I admire the most is you, Brother Luo He. The path of cultivation is arduous, so you must take good care of yourself. If you face a great enemy, bowing your head and being cautious isn't a disgrace. The key is to survive, because survival gives you the opportunity to kill your enemies. Sometimes, surviving is harder than dying. My life has ended. I wish for you, Brother Luo He, my friend, to achieve your desires, and feel that every day henceforth is well spent. The letter was filled with an old friend's ramblings, but Luo Feng's heart ached even more. Brother Shong, you are the only friend I made since coming to the land of origin, Luo Feng murmured solemnly, and the only one I truly admired. Rest assured, you exposed Divine Monarch Shuiyun's identity with your life. I promise you, he will surely die. He won't escape. Luo Feng turned and left. The vice president of the Flame Wind Guild watched the scene. This Lord Luo, he had an unusual relationship with Shong Qianyang, but Divine Monarch Shuiyun is not to be trifled with either. After leaving the Flame Wind Pavilion, Luo Feng, accompanied by Morosa who was waiting outside, immediately steered the flying boat away. Master, Morosa addressed Luo Feng. Luo Feng, looking at the vast Huyang city enshrouded in the night, said, I remember you being able to track any life form you have sensed before. We have met Sang Shuiyun not just once. Can you find him? Morosa communicated telepathically, don't worry, Master. As long as he is not a perfect divine body, which can completely isolate his aura, I will definitely be able to lock onto his presence once we're near. Let's start by searching the entire Huyang city then. Luo Feng said. I'll steer the flying boat while you carefully sense and track. Yes, Morosa responded. Luo Feng promptly steered the flying boat, flying swiftly over areas of Huyang city, with Morosa carefully sensing each region. This video will end here.